Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome to the evening prayer. Welcome back. It's your spirit cousin Danielle. I know y'all been trying to figure out where the heck is she. A sister been on a mission and assignment and having to get stuff done. But guess what? In the process, I've done a lot of cleaning in-house and outside of house. And one of my projects was to make sure the basement got cleaned out so I can get me a new setup around here. Okay. Go ahead and tell me how you like my setup. Hit the like button. Go ahead and share and subscribe because I know you're going to love it here. Anyway, this message is going to be for the sign of Capricorn. So let's go ahead and tap into it. Holy angel, spirit guides, divine Melachines, archangels, Ruach, spirit, Jesus, God. Pick your power. Show us the messages for the sign of Capricorn. That's quick. Okay, the dandelion. Boom. Okay, so let me tell you something about dandelions. A lot of people, when they see dandelions, they think that they are, first thing they're like, oh, well, those are weeds. You know, they try to get rid of the dandelions and they try to spray them and whatnot. But I had a friend of mine that I met right before I kind of like really entered into my spiritual walk. And she told me, she said, do you know why there's so much weed killer and why there's so many commercials as to why, you know, they tell you to get rid of weeds and they always show dandelions? And I said, no. And she said, that's because dandelions are a natural herb. Dandelions, that's why you have like dandelion tea. It's good for, it's a lot of healing properties. It's good for detoxification, lowering your blood pressure, decreasing the size of your lymph nodes, a lot of things, right? So what happens is, if this is for the sign of Capricorn, I'm seeing this dandelion, and I think that you're probably in a state where it's like, you know what, I don't know my own value and my own worth, so I probably want to just throw everything I know about myself away and start over, when actually spirit, God, Jesus, whoever, pick your power, is telling you like you're a whole divine being yourself. Like you are a whole divine being yourself. So while the world is telling you you need to do this and you need to do that and you need to revamp this and you need to remix that about yourself, and you're constantly like looking for self reassurance, and you're trying to figure out which direction you should go, and you're listening to that person and listening to this person, what we need to do, Capricorn, is bring it home and listen to ourselves, right? Because your divine power, God, Jesus, whoever, Yahuwah, whoever you, whatever, because it's all one and the same, that person or that power, that universe, divine, actually lives within you. You don't have to go outside looking and trying to repurpose yourself when purpose is already inside of you. Okay, the healing is already within you. Everything you need to know will come to you when you need it, and it's already instilled within you, right? So while the world is telling you, oh, you're not good enough, oh, this, you could be better, this, that, and the third, because what happens, what do? We use weed killers to get rid of, in this case, the dandelion, in this case, the Capricorn, in order to paint a certain picture, right? Because we don't want weeds growing in the garden, or we don't want weeds on the sidewalk, or weeds messing up what we're trying to do, when actually the weeds are there to assist in the growth. And like I said, there are healing properties within itself. I know y'all heard that song by Mary Mary, we all need a little bit of dirt to grow. Whatever you're trying to do in life, Capricorn, it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be very successful. My little LED lights are falling. Oh, let me know if y'all got recommendations for the colors of the walls. I was thinking like evil eye wallpaper or something like that. Or I don't know. Y'all let me know. This is all new to me, right? I'm excited. Okay, so while the world is telling you, you know, you need to revamp yourself and so forth, you know, we all need a little bit of dirt to grow, right? So everything that you've gone through up until this point is what makes you who you are. So find joy in that, because everything that you've gone through up until this point is a testimony to somebody else, and they can go out and be a testimony to someone else, right? And that's what it means about becoming the light and being an aura and beaming out, so people can use that testimony and go out and be the better version of themselves. Whatever you're going through, of course, is for the betterment of you, but you will also be a living, breathing, walking testimony for somebody else. But don't shit on yourself, because you are your own divine power. Like, you are, everything you need is within you, and you don't have to go outsourcing for something else when God, the Most High, Jesus, whoever, made you to be your own self healer. You can heal yourself if you look deep inside yourself, right? Okay, so with that being said, we can get some oracle cards surrounding your situation. For some reason, I got a feeling it's dealing with finances, but I also got a feeling like your finances may, like your love life may be affecting your finances. Does that make sense? So we can look into it. Oh, shit. Okay, so judgment. So judgment. Okay, so when people, first thing people think is they get the judgment card and they're like, oh, judgment, you're being really judgy. Well, judgment is actually saying, you know what, I'm putting the gravel down, I'm making a decision, I'm calling a verdict on myself, my situation, my circumstances, and my environment around me, right? I'm no longer going to live in these illusions and delusions. I'm no longer going to live in these illusions and the craziness. I'm going to be very honest and direct about what I'm seeing in front of me, right? I'm going to take what I have for face value. I'm going to learn how to tap into my emotions and process how I feel, but I'm also going to understand the practicality of things, like what I see, what's in front of me, right? Like what's tangible. I'm going to weigh the tangible with the intangible, right? And when you do that, you can make a judgment call, because ultimately your tangible is your masculine side and your intangible is your feminine side. So your tangible would be the way you walk, your performance, how you exert yourself, how you present yourself to the world, how you work, whatever you are, your sun sign, right? Your feminine side is actually your moon side. So that's the innerness. And sometimes there could be some conflict there. And what's happening is if the two aren't marrying and merging together, then there's a problem. So you need to sit down, reassess, and analyze yourself and call judgment, right? Now, judgment can be eliminating people from your life. Honestly, when we say, oh, I'm going to call judgment, we're really calling judgment on ourselves, on what we are and what we are not going to accept going forward. So if we're going to make a judgment call, we're like, hey, Capricorn, this is what's going on. This is what you see. This is what's in front of you. This is what's real. This is what is an illusion. This is what's not, blah, 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 blah. You know, get you a pen and paper and write that stuff down if you need to. But in order for you to move forward, you have to make a judgment call, and you have to call judgment on yourself, right? You have to say, hey, I'm fucking up in this area. I'm messing up in this area. I'm too overly giving in this area. I'm too understanding in this area. I'm too witty in this area. I'm not as giving in this area. I'm not as understanding in this area. I need to, maybe I'm spending too much money. Maybe I have gluttony or gout, or I'm over something in this area. Maybe I'm not spending enough time to myself. Maybe I should pour back into myself, or maybe I should pour a little bit more. Whatever it is, you have to make a judgment call in your life to make sure you're realigning so you can get back in alignment and get back within purpose, right? Now we're going into the winter months, right? For people that know me, that follow me on Facebook, the winter months are the best months for me, because they always say, hey, summer bodies are made in the winter. And that's kind of like how spirit works, even in the biblical sense as well. Your new beginning in your spring or Pesach or Easter or whatever you celebrate, the biblical new year begins end of March, early April. So the winter months represent you going through the wilderness, because what is it? It's cold, it's dark, you got to layer up. Your layer is your protection. You have to press through. The winter months also signify and symbolize the Hebraic children, or the children of God, or Yah, leaving out of Egypt and journeying forth to the promised land, right? What is the promised land? Pesach. It's the new beginning. It's the new year. I'm not talking about the Gregorian calendar. I'm not talking about January, like Happy New Year's. I'm talking about the new year that is actually specified in scripture, right? Again, Pesach. Some Christians call it Easter, whatever, the new beginning, which is end of March, early April. So what's going to happen is the winter months are coming upon us. You all need to make a judgment call as to how you're going to move during the winter months, because your behaviors now is going to affect and determine the outcome from your future, right? So like I was saying, getting back on summer bodies, for people that are into fitness and stuff like that, summer bodies are made in the wintertime. What is the winter time in terms of this context right here? Shadow work, soul work, sitting with yourself. What needs to go? What needs to stay? Moon work, meditating, walking, cleaning out of maybe physical things that have energies and spirits and so forth that attach to it, getting rid of that stuff. Also analyzing who's in your space that don't need to be there. Also analyzing, are you in your own way? You know, it's not just about other people. Sometimes it's us as well. So, and that's, you know, that's when we have to really call judgment, because it's like, we're so quick to call judgment on other people, but we don't realize that the people are there because we allowed them in our space. It's our fault. We have to take accountability, right? And there's a process of elimination. Things don't happen overnight. You got to push through. You got to press through, right? So I like to always marry the biblical context with the scripture. I just feel like it comes together, and it's a marriage, it's a union, and that's what it's supposed to be. So what are we calling judgment on, specifically for the sign of Capricorn? The Tower moment. God damn. So the Tower moment signifies, okay, so you got the biblical side of things and you got scriptural. Spiritual. But they're one and the same, as above, so below, right? So you have the Tower moment here. In biblical terms, it's a Tower of Babel, when a lot of the people were puffed up and they're like, oh, we're going to build a tower to go up and meet God, you know. And what's happening is, first of all, who the heck is you to be climbing towers thinking you gonna meet anybody? Like, no, stay your human self down there. But they had this inner drive and aspiration to do it. Not to say that you shouldn't have drive and aspiration, but it was more so like, yeah, we finna go meet God and see what he all about. And God was like, all right, try me. So sometimes we can get so far ahead or beyond ourselves, or thinking that we're God himself. Not to say that we aren't lower Elohims in the earth, because we are. But sometimes we get so puffed up and so full of clout and so full of, you know, we just who we are, to the point where God has to throw a tower at you. And this tower has to crack and break. Now, the beautiful thing about a tower that I like is you have lightning striking the tower, right? And if you look at some of the other cards, the tower hits close to the foundation, but it doesn't really hit the foundation, right? So it impacts the foundation, but one thing I like about it is, like, it hits so far the lowest to the closest of the foundation to where you still have enough to rebuild, right? So it's a lightning strike happening. So what is light? Exposure, bringing something to the light, because when it storms and lightens, that happens in what? The darkness. So if the winter months are about you pressing through the darkness, which is the unknown, the gray areas, the gray scales, you don't know what's going on, and God shoots out a lightning strike, it's brightening the sky so you can see what, but in that moment. So you need to seize the moment. But right here, it's the tower is hitting because what you have built is not in alignment specifically with the Most High, or at all. So we have to break up that, not the foundation, or what was built, and we have to start over, because what was built is not an offering to the Most. He's not going to accept it, because you did it under false pretenses or selfish pretenses. So now he has to cut that shit up, right? So the tower moment is hitting, and you have to start over. And you're starting from the bottom now. We here. So you're starting over in a state of humility and humbleness, right? And I know a lot of people don't like those words, but I'm talking before the Most High. I'm not talking before people, unless, you know, the Most High employs those people, right? You should always have a state of humbleness and humility before God, before the Most High, before divine, before universe. You will know who his people are, as he moves you through your missions, right? So I'm not saying you have to be humble and sucking up to people. No, we don't worship them, but God does employ himself through his people. So be very attentive to that as well. But anyways, what's interesting about the Tower card is, if you think back in scripture, everybody was like, yeah, let's build this tower. We're going to get up to the Most High. So you trying to meet me on my level. Like, that's what God is saying. And then what happens? They're building, and I can only imagine like the Most High looking at them like, okay, a little bit more, a little bit more. Come on. They ain't stopped yet. All right, hold on. Because the higher you get, the harder to fall. I know y'all heard that song by Keisha Cole, baby. It's a long way down, long way from heaven. The higher, the more floors you climbing up, if you jump out the window, the more likely you are to die and not come back. So it ain't like jumping out the second or third floor of the building. Like, you're jumping out like from floor 22 and you're gonna get a catch 22. So what's happening is they built, they're coming together and they're building this tower, right? And as they built this tower, as they're building this tower, God strikes, right? And then what does he do? In the strike, what was the strike? The strike was him breaking up the languages. So now everybody's speaking a different language. When you speak a different language, you don't understand I don't understand what you're saying. You don't understand what I'm saying. They don't understand. Nobody understands what they're saying. So there's chaos. And if there's no clear communication, we can't build. If I say, hey, hand me a brick, and I don't know, hand me a brick. If I say, hand me a brick, and you say, give me the chisel, but I don't understand the language that you're speaking, what? It's not going to happen. We can't build. Do you see what the Most High is doing? He's stopping the building process. Meaning you, all the players, and all the little minions involved got caught up. It's over. You can't build no more. So now we got to tear this whole thing down and start all over. Okay? Does that make sense? Wonderful. Great. All right. What else is going on here? Now, relate this to your situation. 6 of Cups. Okay. Listen. 6 of Cups talks about, I see 6 of Cups, but I was thinking about 6 of Pentacles. Why am I thinking about childhood though? I know there's a relation there. So in our adult life, sometimes we can't move forward until we heal generational curses and traumas from childhood. This is also linked to your money, right? We cannot thrive financially the way we want to unless we heal that root chakra, that grounded chakra, which is also when the Most High hits the tower, it hits close to the foundation, but there's still enough there because whatever information, what you experience, whatever that foundational piece there right there is, that is a representation also of your crown chakra, what is rooted in the earth. The part that, like our childhood, what we grew up on, what we were taught by our parents and other influences around us. So there's something here, Capricorn, where you need to go back to your childhood and heal something there. I'm not saying go back and resurface and rehash some stuff. That's not what I'm saying. No, don't do that. But there might be some thinking back onto as to why you are where you are today based on your childhood, right? So I'll give you an example. For me, I'm an overachiever and an overperformer, right? I'm the person where it's like, if I want to get it done, I'm going to get it done. Because growing up, if I asked for help, I looked weak. If I expressed myself, I was bipolar. If I was upset about something, I was too emotional. I was acting like my mom. So I put myself in a masculine energy to, hey, Danielle, get your money, go to school, get your degrees, do what you do, whoop, whoop, whoop. Don't ask nobody for nothing, right? That was me. In the process of me doing that, I lost my feminine side because I was always hustle. But the beautiful part about it is, to this day, I'm very self-sufficient. I'm very grounded. I can handle my own, right? But it took me about 5 years to get back on my feminine side and get back on my soft side, which affected my relationships, and it affected my my love life, because I'm a whole dude by myself. You see what I'm saying? I'm a whole dude. I'm out here operating like a whole man, a provider by myself. It wasn't intentional, but I'm a single mother, and I didn't want to be a statistic. And I had family, not all of them, but nuclear family, who had that talk, and I didn't want to hear that shit because I wasn't going to be no statistic. But in the process, I created this masculine archetype of not wanting to ask for things, not wanting to be, I didn't want to be a needy person, because in my family, if you were needy, then you were a problem. You see what I'm saying? I didn't want to be a problem. But as I got into my adult life and started back dating again, like mid-30s or whatever, like when I got to like mid-30s and I was like trying to get back out there and date, I was like, this is so lame. Like, because I couldn't find a guy to match my energy, because I was a whole man myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had the whole masculine energy myself, and I had to learn how to shift to the other side. Now, that was very difficult for me, because I'm like, I'm out here performing, doing the damn thing myself. Like, I'm not going to accept less. Until this day, I don't. But I had to learn how to be a little softer, how to be a little gentler. And sometimes I still slip up because whatever. But anyways, so that's what I'm saying. There could be something now that you're struggling with, and it doesn't have to be, my situation, but it could be something that you're experiencing now that could go back to childhood. It's a trauma. It's a generational thing that has to be addressed. Right? So it's okay to need someone. It's okay to rely on someone. I'm learning how to do it. This shit feel pretty good, because why? But in the process, just be mindful that certain people aren't going to like the fact that you're super stable and you're grounded and you don't need them. Like, because I had to go through that too. Even currently, it's like, being a strong woman is very threatening sometimes to other people, men and women. And I have to keep telling myself, that's not my problem. But anyways, so we're going to move on. So anyways, definitely something here. Now, when I say that this is going to affect your love life, I'm hearing spending money. It's something here about you spending your money. Yeah, 8 of Pentacles. There's something here preventing you from creating the life you want based on how you view love. How you view love is going to determine when God unleashes your overflow of financial abundance, right? Because let me tell you something. You can have all the dreams in the world, all the visions, all the predictions, whatever the case may be. You can believe in all the biblical scriptures, and yes, God's gonna bless. Yes, He gonna bless you. But if you are not making decisions to where you're stable enough to handle a certain opportunity, finances, large amounts of money, abundance, riches, I don't know, extra breath of life, whatever, He's not going to release that to you because you're not mature enough to handle it or stabilize it, right? That's especially, and I'm speaking particularly to people who are overgivers. And when I say overgive, I'm not saying like, you got people who are, they just give to get you off of their, plate. Then you have other people who give because they want you to like them. They want you to notice them and pick me and, be my friend and like me. Then there's other people that give because we see the good in them and we want them to see the good in themselves. And specifically option 3 is who I'm talking about, that last group. You want to give and overdo and overextend because you want other people to see the good in themselves. Baby, sometimes they just got to fucking fall. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes they ass just need to fall. Respectfully. They just need to fall. Because they got to know. I mean, clearly we have the tower moment here. They just got to fall. You can't overgive and overextend to everyone sometimes, because sometimes you're enabling them to keep up their behavior. But in the process of us overgiving and overextending and wanting to be accepted and so forth, we're pulling from our own cup. We're pouring from our cup into somebody else's cup. So while their cup is getting full and overflowed, who's pouring back into yours? It's okay to give to someone, but you give from your overflow, not your last. And some of y'all Capricorn are giving from y'all's last. I need y'all to stop, God. Like, I need you to quit. No. Fill up your own cup first before you give it away. And some of y'all may have to go into a little bit of, It's not selfish. I was going to say selfish, but no, it's not selfish. You might have to hermit, meaning what? Pull back. Go ghost for a while. Go home. Put the phone on silent. You don't have to talk to everybody every day. You don't have to encourage everybody every day. You ain't got to pray for everybody every day. Sometimes people just need to go home, look at the wall, and just meditate and fall asleep. Okay? All right. Cool. So I think that's it. I can get some messages for y'all really quickly to close this out. Oh, I love this deck right here. It's called Finding Magic in the Mundane. Make sure y'all go on Amazon and buy this deck. I love this girl. Who is this? Kendra Austin, the realist oracle. This is my girl, right? She don't even know we friends and we friends. We friends, Kendra. We friends, Kendra. Okay. Closing message for the sign of Capricorn, just to give them some energy to power them through their day, you know, and through their season, and through whatever they got going on. Closing message for the sign. I love my little setup, y'all. I love it. I'm so excited. I'm so glad y'all could be here. I'm so glad y'all here. I'm so glad y'all here. Okay. Back up. Okay. Closing sign for the message. Okay. Solitude. What I just say? Sometimes we just got to sit back and just enjoy ourselves and enjoy our own cup. And when we have our own cup, don't mean we got to sip from it. Let it sit. Let our cup sit and grow interest. Okay? We need interest on our own overflow. So that's card number 10. I like that number 10. 10 is the number 10 is the number of pentacles. But here's the thing about the number 10. 10 is also associated with death and endings, right? So 10 is about the overall fulfillment, overall justice, abundance, lifestyle, la 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 10. But it only happens when it comes with a death or an ending. You got to end something in order to get this life you want, all right? Element is earth. You're a Capricorn, you're an earth sign. Spirit speaking tonight. Alone time. Find comfort in your own energy again. Because this ain't nothing new to y'all. Y'all just haven't done it in a long time. Go back and hermit, okay? A process that requires emotional isolation. Do not mistake your alone time for loneliness. Spirit is creating distance from the desires, expectations, and ideas of others so you can identify your own. What we talked about earlier. They told you that you was a weed. The whole time, you were your own internal power. You were your own internal healer. Okay, get into hermit mode. I just said that. Y'all may know some Virgos. Y'all may be friends with a Virgo. If not, I'm a Virgo. We friends. What's up? What we doing? I'll see you in the next reading. Love you. Take care. Bye.